Dan RadioStyle, hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Why we can't have what we want, right? Why we want what we can't have. I guess that's maybe what I'm calling it. Either way, this is going to be one of those videos I think that some are going to hate, some are going to love, and then maybe it's just informative and good information and good things to kind of keep in mind when we're making progress through this law of attraction stuff. Something that kind of hit me when I was showering this morning, as I was like thinking about, like, with law of attraction, like so many of us think it's the way we're doing law of attraction is the problem, is why we're not getting what we're after. I actually disagree with that completely. And so it's kind of why I've been doing some of these videos that are supposed to offer some insight into some of the things that cause issues when it comes to our beliefs, where we're coming from, why we're asking for what we're asking for, the people that we're asking for specifically. Like, there's a lot of variance that go into relationships and matter, right? It's not just doing the technique and imagining from the end. That is basically meant to get the two bodies that are orbiting separately, to get them close together, to get them near each other. That, in my mind, and I know a lot of people disagree and think that law of attraction should cause your specific person to basically walk up to your front door, knock on it. When you open it, say, "Hi, I'm ready to be your boyfriend. I know you've not even talked to me before, but this is what I'd like." No. Sorry. Like, that's such a teeny tiny percentage. Wasting time, spending time, using effort to try to create that is going to be far more challenging than actually trying to create a meeting, a chance meeting with your specific person, with maybe this famous person that you're after, whatever you're trying to manifest. So this is going to come into play for sure, but I want people to realize it's not the techniques, it's not the law of attraction, it's oftentimes the other things that are prohibiting it. If you think about it, for any of you that have ever been in a good relationship, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, if not most of you, that have been in a good relationship, you understand that you met them, you started talking, you had chemistry, things just worked out, you had a lot in common, bada boom, bada bing, now we're dating. It wasn't law of attraction, it wasn't that stuff. Yes, that was playing out in our minds. We were thinking about each other, we were talking to each other, right? All that stuff. But ultimately, once you get together, you've got that chemistry, you've got that stuff in common, right? That's what builds a relationship. It's not the law of attraction techniques. That's not what builds the relationship. If two people are incompatible, you can use law of attraction to bring them together. It doesn't mean they're going to enjoy each other's company. They're not compatible. Yes, I can bring them together using those techniques, but then what? So that's what this video, albeit long-winded intro, is about. So I'm not saying this is you. I'm not saying you are doing this, but what I am saying is this is good information. This could be somehow tied in, and I think the lessons contained within this are extremely valuable. So one of the questions a lot of us can ask, and it makes a big difference, and it's kind of a good place to come at this from, are you one of those people that feels like you're kind of always chasing after something, that you're always trying to go after something you can't have? Maybe it's something that's really hard. Like, you might have it stuck in your head that every time I get close, something happens and it seems to push me further away. If it feels similar to that, if that's kind of where you're coming at things from, there's probably a lot to be gleaned here. And certainly for coaches and everything else, this is always good information. One of the problems that tends to happen when we are in this cycle where we're chasing after something we can't have is, it seems the more someone pulls away, the more we want them, right? So we push, and maybe we get that little discussion and they say something and then they disappear again. I mean, I've got a couple people that comment frequently that are popping out of my head right now, and I'm not going to name names because that's horrible. But that's kind of that thing. It's like, it keeps happening, right? Like, they keep like, "Oh no, I like you, I love you, we're totally going to be together." And then like a second later, the text messaging's over, and now they seem like they're even further away than they were before. Now it seems like I don't even know if I can bring us back into orbit again. Like, what happened? Why is it? And now that they've stepped away from me, I want them even more. It's driving me insane, right? Why is it the more this person cares, like the less they seem to care about me, the more I seem to want them? And that's really one of the core ways that most of us will find if this is actually impacting us. Do we find that the more they don't want us is the harder we're trying to get them? Because if that's the case, we need to take a step back and look at what's going on. The success and failure is probably not in the way you're doing your law of attraction techniques. The success and failure might, in fact, have more to do with self-love and looking and taking an introspective look. Let me offer some help in this. Now, some of why when people step away and we want them even more, some of that's a self-esteem thing, right? So that's where I get into the self-love. Some of that right off the bat is a self-esteem thing. They validate you to a degree, right? They make you feel good, or when they do give you attention, you're like, I'm getting attention and I feel so wonderful. Again, your happiness is outside of yourself, so now this person's got all this control to affect your happiness. So that's really, from a health standpoint, from an emotional health standpoint, that's not good, right? That's not good that this person has the ability to make or break you like that. And so when they walk away, it's like, I've got to get that validation back, right? I've got to get that, like, daddy didn't love me enough when I was younger, which could even be part of this, right? But I've got to get that validation back. How do I get that validation back? So, self-esteem, right? You're figuring there's something wrong with you. That's why they keep walking away. So that's a whole area unto itself. The other aspect of this that is worth looking at, is worth of note, is this importance we place on them. The way we look at them and the way we decide how important they are. Oftentimes we've elevated them up on a pedestal, right? Like the trophies, right? They're posing for the trophy, the victory, right? We've put them up on this little pedestal to make them amazing and great. And we think they're the answers to everything in our lives. Everything under the sun, this person can help me deal with. They are perfect. They are the ideal. They are awesome. And again, I'm not saying this is you. But what that does, again, is it puts so much of that happiness outside of ourselves. And it creates this false sense of importance that we have with these people. Now, in a lot of cases, really, and this is why so frequently we talk about writing out lists of what really matters in a relationship. Not about your specific person, but what matters in the relationship. What really matters in evolving your relationship with another human being. What are the things that matter in love? Discussions, conversations, if they're intelligent, their sense of humor, whether they've got a good job, whether they're a good father type candidate, whether they are a father already, right? All these things can come into play. Obviously, a good mother. I do have plenty of men in my audience, so I apologize for generally focusing on the women's side. But for the most part, that predominantly a lot of ladies are out there. But for a lot of us, figuring out what we deserve is the key and most primary piece of importance in this whole thing. We need to understand what it is that makes us tick. We need to spend more time looking inward and figuring out what it is that really matters to us. Because in many cases, this individual, especially if they just aren't connecting, and the more they push us away, the more we want them, a lot of this stuff is built up in our heads. It's built up in our heads. One of the things that's sort of detrimental with law of attraction, and it's still good, mind you, it is part of creating, but we create these things. We create these imaginal scenes, right? And a lot of us worry that we're delusional. There is that component because you can keep telling yourself things over and over, and you truly do make it real, and that's really what you're supposed to do in law of attraction. The problem is, and this is what's hard for so many people, especially when there's theories out there that everyone's us pushed out. And I think that's thrown around as a blanket statement. And I think to a lot of people, that means to them that these people are us, like me. Like I live alone in this universe, and all of you on YouTube are me pushed out. So thusly, you're me. So I'm actually watching this hundreds of times by myself through different components of myself. Or I actually think everyone is here to do my bidding, or thusly me pushed out. And so they're not their own person. They're not here living their own life. I disagree with all of that. I absolutely agree. We come down with our soul brothers and sisters and spend a lifetime here on earth together. and we interact with each other. We help each other grow. We fall in love with each other. We hate each other. We fight with each other. There's a whole slew of things that we experience down here together with other humans. That's other souls. That's part of why we're here. So we can't control others. This delusion, if you will, works great when you're trying to manifest something like more money, a job, right? Like those kinds of things. It's fantastic. Delusion away. But where it can get difficult and dangerous and can look funny when you're talking to your friends is when another person's opinion and free will comes into play. Again, I believe very strongly that the point of law of attraction is to attract, to bring them close. And then from there, chemistry, conversation, interacting with each other, trying to build that communication is key. It's paramount. It's necessary. No, I'm too shy. Even though they keep showing up in my world, I'm too shy to talk to them. You're missing the boat. Law of attraction got them there. You need to talk to them. You can't expect some stranger to walk up to you and talk to you. Yes, you can manifest that, but it is so much easier to manifest them into your proximity, and then you go ahead and make a comment. Start a conversation somehow. Oh, hey, I noticed you've got such and such, or oh, you like coffee too, or I don't know, whatever seems appropriate at the time. Hey, I like those shoes. Like just something to get them to look at you and talk to you. Doesn't even have to be anything all that legit, but by that communication, by looking each other in the eyes, a lot of magic can happen. So for those of us that are constantly putting our happiness outside of ourselves or chasing after someone that just doesn't seem to care or appreciate us or love us or want to spend time with us, take a step back for a second. Let's look at what we deserve. Let's look at what we want. I know you want them maybe, or maybe it's an issue of my heart's broken and I want to get them back to stop that. But if they don't give you the time of day, if the relationship wasn't working because they were totally self-centered, then rather than trying to change them to fit what you deserve, which a lot of us do, we're like, well, I've done self-love and I realize I deserve a better, healthy relationship. So how do I make them more, better, healthy? Yes, you can. You can put attention towards that. Again, their free will still comes into play. Now you're putting the power outside of yourself again and saying they have to change or this probably isn't going to work out. And it's easy from our standpoint to play that victim, the victim card, right? And also it's fun for us too because we can blame something outside of ourselves. It's not my fault. It's his fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. She's not being with me. He's not choosing me. It's not my fault. But the reality is, yeah, it's probably your fault. It is. You're choosing this. This is your person. You've attracted them to you. You keep this alive. And it's not that you're bad. It's not that you're wrong. It's what do we really want? Is it a relationship? Is it love? Or is it this person at all costs, regardless if they're healthy for us, regardless if they're the right step in our evolution, regardless if it'll make me happy, regardless if 3 months from now I'm going to go through the same thing, maybe worse. And yes, it can be good. It can be worked out. I'm not trying to say, again, we're trying to cover this from the standpoint of us putting a lot of pressure outside of ourselves and what happens when we do that. It's dangerous. When we look inward, and look at what we want and what we desire, and then say, universe, that's what I'm going to attract. Now, delusion comes into play in a great way, because now I'm attracting something from my inside, something that I know I love. I'm going to enjoy being with someone that is more communicative. I'm going to enjoy being with someone that actually has time for me. I'm going to enjoy someone that loves going to movies too. I'm going to enjoy someone that loves to read as well. I'm going to enjoy someone with a sense of humor. I'm going to enjoy someone that's into different experiences that I've never tried because I'd like to try new things. And now I'm telling the universe, hey, that's what I want. I want you to bring that to me. I want that to come into proximity. And when we start to do that, one specific person may fit the bill. They may suddenly change because now I've defined what it is that I am getting, what I am going to create. This is the experience I'm going to happen. And now your specific person's higher self has been given this information, be it via you, basically, when you made the the claim, like this is what I would like, then your significant person picked up on that thought transmissions. Again, you can't think of someone and not have something travel to them. It's immediate. You don't have to do anything other than think of them. And bam, you're sending energy. You instantly have a thought transmission. You've created a bridge between you and them. How you're feeling at that second, bam, hits them. May not consciously know it. They might not. But their higher self, I guarantee you, 100% knows it. Always. Always. 100%. Again, conscious self, higher self, sometimes very disconnected. As a lot of us evolve spiritually, what that does really in the big picture is it starts to bring our consciousness level up to where our higher self level is. You start to be aware of more and more things. You start to pick up on more and more things. You start to become more and more sensitive. All those things start to come into play. So when we take a step back, when we look at what we deserve, we finally start putting some energy towards what we're trying to create. Rather than necessarily putting power in a source outside of ourselves, you know, the power to make us happy, the power to bring us our joys, the power to fulfill our adventures in life, how about I take some ownership of that? And I know to many people it's like, well, Dan, that's easier said than done. I get that. I truly, truly get that. Some of these things can take months to years to work on. And I will say that most everything in my life that's ever been of significance has required some effort. I'm not saying things have to require effort, but there seems to be something in the difference between wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge is reading about something. It's barely experiencing it. I see it in words. Wisdom is when you've walked that path and now you know it because you've lived it. So as we evolve, as we progress, we're gaining wisdom. And with that wisdom, we should make better choices, different choices, more fulfilled, more full choices. And that will help change our lives. So again, yeah, it may seem easy to fix things like this, or it may seem easy because I like them for this, that, or the other reason. There's no one else that's going to be interested. No one cares about me. Again, no matter who you are and where you are, and I've got one person I'm thinking of that's maybe some disabilities are kicking in. There's some other factors at work, and I know it's very difficult to feel like I will ever find someone because I've got some challenges that come along with me being me. But when you put out what you actually want, what you are looking for, you'll be surprised because now we're not limiting to the universe. Now we're not saying, well, this is the only person that will do it. Well, there might be someone else. Believe it or not, there might be somebody else kind of close by. And maybe you've just not been seeing them or you've not been receptive to them, so there was no need for the universe or your higher selves to bring you together. By taking that step back, by looking at what's going on in your life, by saying, I want more, I deserve more, I'm going to create more, it comes from me, well then why aren't I asking for more? Why am I settling for less? Why am I letting this person walk away and frickin' throw me into all sorts of chaos? Where does that benefit anybody? All you're doing is kind of messing with this guy's ego. Probably not good for them, really, but it is fun when you finally take that away from them and then they start going, whoa, wait, what did I do? And you will be surprised how often those people will instantly about face and come walking back towards you because you've turned your attention elsewhere. You've taken them off the pedestal. And now it's like, wait, no, you were worshiping me just a moment ago. Now what the hell's going on? Wait, why won't you return my text messages? Now all of a sudden they're the ones that are getting all weird. Energy needs to be balanced. It needs to be balanced. If you're going to have a chance at a healthy relationship, that energy needs to be balanced. Now, maybe you're the one that cleans up stuff, and maybe they're the ones that go out and make money, or maybe they're the ones that go and they go out and chop down trees and bust open logs, and you're inside cooking. Or maybe you're out there busting down the logs and they're cooking, right? Like, whatever your roles are, there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance. Whatever it is, it needs to balance, because if it's out of balance, someone's going to start getting upset. And that's how a lot of these things begin to occur. Hold your ground. You got to compromise for sure, right? There's always that. But hold your ground. You deserve what you deserve. There's nothing wrong with deciding I deserve something wonderful. I do. I'm a wonderful person. I deserve it. You're a wonderful person. You deserve it. You deserve it. Why settle for less? What do you want? What do you really want? Let's have that. Let's try that on for size. Let's not let Johnny or Bobby or Sue or Mary or Joe or Rick, let's not let them have our power. Let's have our power ourselves. When you truly start to look at it from that place, now law of attraction actually does a lot more for you. And the delusional aspect is less of a concern because you're not putting all of your efforts and all your energy on this outcome. But instead, it's the outcome in the bigger picture that really matters to you. And that is what you should manifest. That's what you should create. And that is where you will experience happiness from the inside, because now you've found that person that coincides, that chemistry is right. Maybe your chemistry with John, Rick, Sue, Kathy, whatever, was right 5 years ago. Maybe it was right a year ago. But if you've changed or if they've changed, well, now that energy can be a little different. It can be out of harmony. And so many of us want them to catch up to us, or wants to. This happens a lot with the people that are spiritually waking up. Sometimes we'll wake up faster than those around us, and it can create some challenges. Stay true to what you are. Stay true to who you are. Stay true to what matters to you. And you will find more success. You will be taking steps in the direction to make your life better, which is really what you want, right? So by taking these steps, by looking inward, by saying, what do I really deserve? What do I really want? You then take the reins into your own hand. And at that point, you're now driving your life, which you've always been in control of, but you've been doing it unconsciously. You've been letting someone else hold the reins, and then you're pissed off you're not ending up where you wanted to go. Well, that's not where I wanted to go. Well, grab the darn reins and drive this thing. Drive this thing. Take it where you want to go. Even if it's maybe a little different than what this individual's saying. They may come along with you. I promise. You'll be surprised how often when you turn your attention away and focus inward, now all of a sudden they can't get enough of you. There's some really cool dynamics that happen with the energy of us and other people. That whole thought transmission thing, that's the energetics. It's energy. It's one of the keyword terms I put in almost all of my videos is energy. Because no matter what, I think hope's another one too I love using, because in all honesty, hope is one thing that's driven me through most of my life. And energy dynamics is what shapes everything. You manifest something that's physical, it's energy that's doing it. You're manifesting a relationship with another person, it's energy that's doing it. It's all energy transfer. It's the energy from us that spills out, and then it finds a like energy, and it feels very attractive and comfortable, and then we pull it in close, and we create like a bond, right? Create like our energy becomes sticky on their energy, and their energy gets sticky on our energy, if you will, and now we've got this connection energetically. It's really how it plays out. So get your energy right by making sure you know what you're asking for and that you're cool with what you're asking for. And it's something that is deserving to you, not something that's not good, right? Something that's missing the boat. Let's let go of that for a moment. Again, I'm not saying that's not the right person. What I am saying is if we focus inward a little bit, focus on what we want, what we desire, take steps towards that. Tell the universe that's what I want more of. Focus on that. Make that your focus and watch the way things begin to unfold around you. Hopefully this makes a huge difference. If you like what I do, please comment, please subscribe, please share videos, please thumbs up, all those crazy things. They're all some of the most helpful ways you can actually assist my channel. Of course, if you've got friends and you want to say, hey, you should check out this guy, that's also a really, really cool way to help me build my channel size as well. So all those things are wonderful. Appreciate it. And if not, just keep listening. That's really ultimately what matters. As long as I got people listening, it makes a lot of sense. And otherwise I'm just talking to a camera, and I'll do it anyways. It's still fun, but it's more fun to actually see people interact and be like, oh my God, people actually watch these things. It's amazing. So that's how we roll with all of that. So why we want what we can't have? Why don't we get what we want instead of wanting what we can't have? It's a different mindset. Hopefully, like I said, this makes the difference for you all. Dan RadioStyle, more great videos will be coming your way.